Well, welcome back everybody. I've got some bike touring coming up and I'm trying to come up with a hands-free follow me setup for the drone. So I have cobbled together some old GoPro mounts that I had lying around, and I'm going to go ahead and mount these to the bike and hopefully be able to have a hands-free setup for the drone controller. Let's see how it turns out. Once you get this classic GoPro bike mount in place, it's pretty bomb-proof. There's a couple little tweaks you need to do to it, but that's the essential setup. I can remove it if I have to pretty easily, but let me show you what I'm going to do to the drone controller itself. This is the most natural setup that I could come up with one of those sticky mounts. So go ahead and get that mounted, and it'll essentially line up straight forward, but those mounts aren't designed to go together, so I got to do a couple tweaks. Okay, but before we go ahead and do those tweaks, I am going to go ahead and stick that to the bottom of the drone controller. That's one of those curved GoPro sticky mounts. It allows for the least amount of gap, so the tape is solid to the controller. I don't have to worry about losing it. It also remains nice and low profile for when I'm using this controller just as a handheld. When I get outside, I will give you a close-up of this, but what I'm using is the mount and then a very low profile 90-degree change of direction little adapter there that I found laying around because it's going to help me out with this. Here's a little pro tip for using this type of handlebar mount. You've got a gap on both sides of the mount where the screws go through there, and if you really torque those down, you could possibly crack that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search my shop and scavenge some little plastic pieces, or actually some little rubber pieces, little spacers to slide in there so that I can crank that down and not worry about cracking that mount. Okay, so we're outside now in much better lighting, and hopefully you'll be able to see this whole setup. We've got the connector plate here on the top facing forward and backwards. I've got that little 90-degree angle directly below that, and that attaches to the bar mount itself. As you can see, I had to use a little screw there because the actual hand screw tightener thing that comes with the GoPro setup is not long enough, because you're using two parts here that actually are not designed to go together. So I needed a screw that was a little bit longer, so I went ahead and used that. It's cool. It gives me enough forward and backwards tilt, side to side tilt with that 90-degree adapter. So if I have to get it out of the way, it can kind of be tilted out of the way. I don't think I will need that, but I am going to put a handlebar bag on this bike. So I don't know. I might need to get it out of the way. I might not. It seems to work well with the other lights that I've got, and I'm going to be using another style of strap mount actually for the GoPro itself, probably on the other side of the handlebars there. So that's going to be the basic setup. So I don't know if you've got these kind of parts laying around. If you've ever had a GoPro, you probably do. If not, I'm not exactly sure what to tell you. But if you have a bunch of spare GoPro parts laying around, you'll be able to create a setup like this. Well, free, or fairly cheaply at least. And real quick, I'll show you how the controller, how easy it is to mount. Okay, so I've got the controller here, and I'm holding my camera with the other hand, and you can see how easy this is. One-hand operation. You can just go ahead and slip that into place. It locks rock solid. Pop the antennas up, pop the holder for your cell phone out, and it's good to go. Even with that little 90-degree adapter that I had to put on there, it's still pretty low profile. I'm real happy with that. I think it'll work very well. Easy on, and let's see how easy it is to get off with one hand. Yeah, easy on, easy off. I like it. I think it'll work. Simple little setup. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas if you're thinking about a follow me setup with your drone as well. If it does help you out, you know I'd appreciate that thumbs up like. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, see what we're up to throughout the week between videos, and maybe, just maybe, I'll see you on the next video. If you enjoy videos about the randomness of our amazing world, consider clicking on the globe to subscribe, or checking out one of our other videos right here.